And thank you to our judges. That was great. And moving on, we're moving on to our fifth team, and it's Koosmik from Luxembourg. And they actually provide financial services that's through a mobile app targeting the youth in the unbanked populations that's over there in Africa, providing a Pan-African mobile wallet and online banking services. Users have access to a free mobile wallet with a hub of services, including things like payments, micro loans, savings, and insurance. Koosmik is actually headquartered in Luxembourg with all operations that's in Togo. Thank you very much. We have 5 minutes, it looks like. That's like everybody else. Jumpstart your dreams now.
Wonderful. Hello, everyone. As we are solving a big problem, the fastest growing part of the world from a population perspective, and I'm talking about the African continent where I'm from. I was born in Togo, and the reality is 75% of the population in Africa has never had a bank account, never had a credit card. This unbanked population has to deal with issues that come with being from a cash-based economy, which means that there are security issues, they can get robbed. And then the ones who do have access to mobile money services, they're dependent on telcos for their transactions. And that's a real problem that we're trying to solve at Koosmik, because we really see the potential for technology to favor financial inclusion, which is really what this company is single-mindedly focused on. The reality of the market in Africa is that there's 1.2 billion people in Africa, and right now there are more than 338 million people in sub-Saharan Africa, my part of the world, that have never had access to these kinds of services. When I mention this as a problem, I really mean it, because it means that people are not able to live their full lives. They're not able to get insurance. They're not able to have any sort of financial services. There is huge pent-up demand for technologies that can enable liberation through technology, and this is what Koosmik is really devoted to. Essentially, what we're doing is providing banking services in a very, very simple app. Our app is very easy to download, it's very quick, it's very easy to understand, it's dummy-proof. Even people who are not necessarily very educated can understand Koosmik, because we're very infographic-driven. We are a mobile wallet that allows people to send money, to receive money, to pay their bills online. In my home country, Togo, which is only 8 million people in West Africa, people sometimes have to wait 2 hours in a line to pay their electricity bill. That does not make sense in the 21st century. So we're providing a hub of financial services, again, because we're obsessed with financial inclusion, and we feel that this could really change people's lives. Our payment is regulated by the Central Bank of West African states, and this is the security that comes with having such an authority looking at people's money. And so the way that it works is that you can send money, you can receive money, you can go to a local store that will basically take your QR code, and based on that, you can withdraw the money just by showing your QR code on your phone. And what's great for these vendors that we're able to identify all over the map is that we're geolocating them, so that brings more foot traffic into their stores as well. So these merchants are actual partners as well, because they get a piece of the action, as in a small commission, but then they're like our ATMs in a sense. So people can just go there and withdraw money. And we have a really interesting referral program, which allows you to invite your friends and get rewards based on that. So that's been working for us really, really well. And the next iteration for us is to keep growing, since Togo is our blue ocean market. As I said, it's only 8. An example is 200 million people, but
Seems like we're having a bit of an audio technical
€3 million.
difficulty. We were not able to hear about the last 20 seconds of your presentation. If you would like to rewind back to the last 20 seconds of your presentation, that would be great because we could not hear you.
Absolutely. I was saying that we have been able to process more than 100,000 people who have onboarded through our Koosmik app. And that's more than 3 million euro in transaction. We're adding more than 2,500 users a month. So we have real traction in the small country, Togo, 8 million people, before we get into much bigger markets like Nigeria. Why is this important? It's important because we are really focused on sustainable development goals based on our financial inclusion positioning. And we're all about gender equality because women are much better at managing money, and all of a sudden they can access a host of financial services through our Koosmik app. That will alleviate poverty, and that will, we believe, be a real game changer in our country.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for that presentation. And judges, again, can I please see which of you have questions that's coming up? Please feel free to use your microphone.
Johnny here. I'd like to ask a question.
Yes,
hi, Johnny.
Johnny, please. We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
How have you been funding? Yes, I can hear you very well. How have you been funding yourself? Did you get any development funding, or you've been funding it by yourself? Because you're only really starting to raise the next round now, right?
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, initially we bootstrapped, but we've been very lucky because we raised $1 million in our first round 2 years ago. And last year we did really well by winning the jury award at the CES in Vegas. We also won first prize at the Paris Fintech Forum, which allowed us to raise $2 million, ramp up in Togo, where we've now hired 14 people, which is why we now have more than 100,000 users in this small country with 8 million population. And then our goal, because we have so much traction in Togo, is to expand throughout West Africa. And then we're going to be raising $10 million in December of 2020.
Thank you. And anyone else had a question? Any questions by our other judges?
The question, this is Anita. So I understand the plan on, expand your business to South Africa. Do you think like the plans to go international, as well as the applicability, whether the same model can apply to like more developed markets as well?
That's a great question, Anita. To be honest, we're not really focused on developed markets right now. We're really all focused on African markets because of the huge opportunity of 3/4 of the population never having had any sort of financial services and having to rely on cash. And because Africa is the fastest growing part of the world, let's just give you an example. There's more children born in Nigeria every year than the entire European Union of 28 or even 27 countries. And so as a result, we believe that if we can become number one on the African continent, we can create $1 billion business.
Thank you. We have about 20 seconds left. Any other last questions by our judges? Oh, actually, there's one from the public. How do you reach or acquire customers?
The referral mechanism that I mentioned earlier has been working really well for us because people get rewards by telling their friends about Koosmik, which allows us to save money on marketing. And we haven't really spent money on ads or anything of that nature so far. It's really word of mouth referrals and the great press we've been getting.
Thank you so much. That was perfect. Thank you very much.